Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. Today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship, which I get asked a lot about when I do personal consults. A lot of people ask me, am I suitable to be an entrepreneur? And I think um, that's not really the right question anymore. Nowadays, everybody can be an entrepreneur. It's so much easier than just like 10 or 15 years ago, that even if you don't have um, an entrepreneur chart that would have made you an entrepreneur 10 years ago, now everything is possible. It doesn't matter what type of chart you have. It's a matter of what type of entrepreneur you are. Like there's different sort of profiles, and if you actually take action according to your entrepreneur profile, then everybody can do it. That's why it's becoming much easier nowadays. So let's have a look and check what type of entrepreneur profile you are and how you could get into business if you wanted to. And that may help you actually get started and not be so afraid anymore of actually get going. All right, so first of all, we do have to plot your Bazi chart. So you can go to the link that's at the bottom of the screen, but I'll also post it in the description to the video. And you have to plot your Bazi chart. Now, for this one, you don't necessarily need your time of birth, but it would be better because it makes it a little bit more accurate. And then obviously that's more helpful, especially for this particular analysis. So if you plot your Bazi chart and you scroll all the way down at the bottom of the second page on the right-hand side, you will see these 10 profile strength chart. Yeah. And we are concerned with the beige part. There's also like a dark red part. We're not looking at that. Only the natal distribution. Yeah, because this is your default. And this is essentially what the sort of character traits that you have in your chart or in your life by default. And this is what we're looking for. And specifically, we are looking at the top three. Yeah, so we're looking at those top three. We're not really concerned with the percentage because the top three are the top strongest anyway. So don't worry so much about the percentage. Just look at what you have in the top three. So this person here has Rob Wealth, Friend, and Eating God. Yeah. So the entrepreneur profile or the sort of type of entrepreneur you are, or the way you could become an entrepreneur depends heavily on the top three in your 10 profiles strength chart. So have a look at what you have there. And then I'm going to go through all of them and let you know and explain what that means from an entrepreneurial point of view. Now, keep in mind that most of us will have more than just one entrepreneurial profile, which again makes it much easier for most of us to become an entrepreneur because we have options. So it's not just one particular way that you could become an entrepreneur. There are usually several ways. All right. So have a look at the top three. Now, if in the top three you have direct wealth and or indirect wealth, yeah, direct wealth, indirect wealth in the top three, 1, 2, or 3, doesn't matter. Yeah, number 1, number 2, or number 3, doesn't matter where it appears. If you have one or both up there, then you tend to be sort of like you belong to the workaholic type of entrepreneur, which means the more time you spend working, the more successful you become. So as long as you buckle down, you will become successful. It doesn't even matter so much what you're doing. Yeah. You just need to make sure that you keep on working. It's sort of like it's as if you bring more opportunities into your life the harder you work. And usually those type of people, they don't like to borrow money, or they don't even ever ask for money. Yeah, they don't borrow money. They just work harder to make more money. And so if you have this in one or two of your top three profiles, then this is one of the ways that you actually attract opportunities as an entrepreneur. The industry or what exactly you're doing isn't really relevant. It's a matter of, okay, you want to be an entrepreneur, then you need to understand that for the next, I don't know, 2, 3 years, no holidays, you just buckle down, you get shit done, and then you will be successful. Yeah. So the harder you work, the more opportunities will come and the more successful you will be. So this is one of your profiles. Now, if you have eating God and or hurting officer in the top three. So this person here has eating God on third place. So if you have eating God or hurting officer anywhere in the top three, then you belong more to the sort of like the innovative entrepreneur profile. So an innovator or an innovative entrepreneur, they don't just create products and services. They want to change an entire industry. They want to maybe change a lifestyle of their clients or their customers. They want to change the rules of the game. So they innovate something totally new. Imagine Steve Jobs, yeah, creating something totally new that disrupts the norms and that completely changes the industries. So they're more driven by vision and creative ideas. So if you have this in the top three, then you must challenge the status quo and try to be different. If you try to be just the same as everyone else and go with the flow and be as mainstream as possible and as normal and conventional as possible, you will not be successful. So you have to stand out with something creative, something that's really disruptive, that's never been there before. And most importantly, don't talk yourself out of crazy ideas. Yeah, that's what happens a lot with people who are a little bit hesitant to go into their own business. They may have a great idea, but because it's not on the market yet and it's totally new, they think it won't work, and then they just talk themselves out of it. And then maybe 2, 3 years down the road, someone else actually does it. So if you have eating God and or hurting officer in the top three, then this is one way in which you can become a successful entrepreneur by just being different, being creative, and being innovative. All right. Now, the next one is direct officer and or 7 killings. So again, if you have direct officer and or 7 killings in the top three profiles, then we call them the sort of the imitators or the parrots. So these type of entrepreneurs, they sort of imitate the success of other people, and they're generally considered the smartest. Yeah, they don't waste all their time thinking of ideas, thinking of new things. They wait until someone does it, and then they copy the product or the service, but they slightly improve on it. So they wait for some pioneer to enter the market with a new product. They check what's missing, what's not working. They improve on it, and then they basically copy it. They look for what's working in the market, and that way they have less risk. Yeah, so they follow market trends, what's working, what's not working, and that's then where they go to. So the key is that you have to make slight changes. So you cannot imitate it one to one. Yeah, it cannot be 100% the same. So you have to make slight changes, but essentially the product or the service as a whole is the same. So they don't need a business idea. They let the innovators come up with the ideas and then they just run with it. So that way, the people who have direct office or 7 killings in the top three profiles, they actually save a lot of time. Yeah, they don't have to think about a new idea. They don't have to develop it. They don't have to launch it. They save all that time. So, for example, Facebook, right? Before Facebook, there was MySpace. And so Facebook basically took that idea, improved on it vastly, but basically they imitated the idea. The idea behind it is the same. And MySpace eventually died out. So this is what these people are good at. Then the next type or the next sort of profile type for an entrepreneur would be the scientist. So if you have direct resource or indirect resource anywhere in the top 3 profiles, it doesn't have to be both, yeah, either or, then this is more of a scientific approach to entrepreneurship. So these people usually take time to gather all the relevant information before they do anything. They don't like innovation. They prefer practicality over innovation. Yeah, it doesn't have to be something completely new. The question is it practical? Then we'll do it. And for them, failure is not an option. Everything is being looked at from all angles before they even go into the market, before they launch something. Now, this makes them fairly slow, but because they eliminate a lot of risk, it's also quite helpful. So they tend to think that the reason their business is successful is because they know everything about it. Yeah, they like to know every aspect of the business. They don't necessarily rely a lot on intuition. They rely on data, on information. They like to dive into the details of everything. And they don't really listen to their gut feeling when it comes to business. So again, this does eliminate a lot of risk, but they're slow launchers, yeah, because they analyze everything. They overanalyze a lot of things. Now, they tend to be good with big data businesses, yeah. So anything that's scientific and analytical nowadays, AI is very, very resonates very well with these types of people. But generally, there is a lot of risk elimination to the business from the get-go because they analyze everything from all angles and make sure that there's nothing that could trip them up. Yeah, but they tend to be a little bit slow. And then lastly, we've got the friend and the Rob Wealth. So here in this case, we have both Rob Wealth and friend in the top 3 profile. These are the type of entrepreneurs who like to purchase ideas. They like to purchase or to buy businesses instead of building them from ground up. So they identify a viable business and then they just buy it or they acquire it. And then they let someone else run it. They don't really like to be tied down with the day-to-day and all of that. So it does require funding though. So that's the one thing. If you have this type of profile in the chart, you need funding, you need money before you can buy a business or a gap in the market. The good thing, if you have this sort of profile, you tend to be very, very good when it comes to crowdfunding and just getting funding for any sort of business. They tend to be very, very good for them. But generally speaking, look at what business works. And especially, obviously, the smaller businesses, if someone has a really, really good idea, buy yourself into that business, take it over, and then let someone else run it. And again, that eliminates the need for you to actually dive into all the details. It eliminates the risk of you having to innovate anything because everything is done for you. Yeah. So buying a business or buying an idea, buying an existing product, and then just letting someone else sell it. So these are the top, or these are the entrepreneur profiles. So as you see, you can have up to 3 different entrepreneur profiles. So this person here has the purchasing entrepreneur profile, and then at the same time, the innovator profile. Which one you choose is up to you, but based on the top 3, this is what you would be best at or what you're really, really good at and where you have sort of like a natural affinity to make it work. All right. So it's no longer a question of whether or not you are suitable to be an entrepreneur. What you need to check is what type of entrepreneur could you be? And then this is what you have to do to be successful. All right. Hopefully this helped you guys. Hopefully this gave you a few new ideas on how you could start your own business. And of course, if you want to know more, if you want to take a deep dive into your Bazi chart and see how you can really, really make this work, if you want to start your own business, then I'm always here to do a personal reading for you. So get in touch with me. My email address is in the description to the video. And as always, please give this video a big thumbs up, share it with anybody who may be interested, and please subscribe to my channel so we can grow this community. All right. See you guys soon. Take care.